A man killed crossing the street on San Antonio's east side. What police are saying this morning about how it happened.
Plus, Uvalde schools are still closed after a ransomware attack. Our Patty Santos will share why the FBI is now involved and what forensic teams are saying about the stolen data.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Another hour underway. A lot to get to here. Thank you so much for hanging with us this morning.
All right, guys. Thanks again. Waking up, we got stuff to get to on the roadways because you've been busy. But first and foremost, before we do that, we got to check in with Justin.
Yes, we do.
All right.
The man with the plan.
Sometimes. Sometimes. We had a couple showers out there yesterday, guys. Those showers didn't really do much. I suppose we can see a few more of those today. I just don't think it's going to affect us here in San Antonio. I do want to point out, though, it's going to be hot. We'll be up around 92 for a high. But a lot of the country is actually going to be really hot today. It's been an interesting pattern in the sense that in September, you usually start to see some of those cold fronts in parts of the country are starting to see, 30s and 40s. That has not happened. Summer is still very much in control here. St. Louis, 94 today, 90 in Louisville, 92 Jackson, 94 Dallas. So the heat is still on. Phoenix, 104. Could be worse here in San Antonio. Sunrise will be at 7:19 this morning, and sunset will be at 7:37 tonight. 12 hours and 18 minutes of daylight for you. Forecast. 85 noontime, 87 at 1 o'clock. We'll make our way up to 92, partly cloudy. Again, there could be a stray shower, just not here in San Antonio, probably down to our south and east. All right, RJ, what you got?
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. Take a look at your traffic authority, and we've been following this crash for the better part of our morning right now. This was unfortunately a deadly crash right here, 281 northbound at Thousand Oaks, in between Thousand Oaks and Donella. So we are being told that it involved multiple vehicles, but some good news here is that things are starting to clear out here as we see some of our crews. Our folks at TransGuide have went ahead and they've kind of zoomed in on this one particular exit. So that's going to be the Thousand Oaks exit right now, where traffic is been forced, kind of diverted off to the access roads. Let's show you the maps real quick, kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. But again, it looks like things are starting to clear out because earlier we had several emergency vehicles. We had authorities right here on the scene at 281 North right there at Donella Drive. So it looks like traffic is slowly starting to make its way through there. Same situation here. Thousand Oaks in both directions now moving. That's going to be our northbound traffic. Our southbound traffic not affected at all at the moment. So it looks like for the most part this is starting to clear out. But let's get a first-hand account right now with Alex Gomez on the ground in Drive Cam. He's been out there for over an hour now. Alex, what can you tell us?
RJ, good morning and happy Tuesday. Well, check it out, RJ. I'm still here on scene and the scene has cleared. So you can see the headlights right there. That's 281 northbound. It has reopened, and now 281 right at Thousand Oaks in both directions is moving just fine. I'm going to get back on the roadways and see how the rest of the city is looking like, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. And a quick note, there are no other accidents across the city at this moment. Let's go to Patty next.
All right, time right now, 6:02. New this morning, we have some updates on what's happening at Uvalde CISD. School is still out for the rest of the week as the district investigates a ransomware attack. Now, here's the update the school board got yesterday. The FBI is involved and they have the system back up, but it is hosted through a different cloud. This, as forensic investigators look at what sensitive data was stolen. Now, the school board also voted to keep using law firm Thompson and Horton despite concerns about a possible conflict of interest. The newly hired firm previously represented former officer Adrian Gonzalez, charged in connection to the Robb Elementary shooting. An independent ethics attorney will review any possible conflicts there. And the board also told its attorney to send a letter to the courts urging for the release of public records in a lawsuit by DPS against the Texas Tribune. Now, that lawsuit does not directly involve the district, but does have district records and video from the Robb Elementary shooting.
6:04 now. This morning, a man is dead after he was hit while crossing the street. It happened last night just after 10 on Rigsby Avenue on the east side of town. San Antonio police tell us that after the man was hit, the victim died at the scene. We're told that the driver of the pickup truck did stop to help, though, and is currently not facing any charges.
All right, now to a grim discovery at a San Antonio business. A human skull was found while an employee was cutting the grass. It happened at Harold Commercial Plumbing off North San Jacinto Street. San Antonio police and the Bexar County medical examiner were there, and they were seen removing what appeared to be human remains from that property. We spoke with the worker who came across that skull.
Who actually picked up the skull?
Yes.
Not knowing
Not knowing that it was a skull. I saw what looked like a dried cantaloupe or something, so I picked it up. The bottom part of the jaw stayed down there, and I turned it over. I saw the teeth. I was like, oh my God.
So right now, details are still limited. SAPD and the medical examiner's office are looking into this case.
A man will spend the next 30 years of his life in jail for the murder of Luis Mario Garcia. The 19-year-old was shot to death by Fernando Gonzalez Canedo in 2022. Well, San Antonio police found Garcia with multiple gunshot wounds on the Roundtree Lane near I-35 and Randolph Boulevard. Surveillance video showed Canedo in a car near the scene before the shooting and running from the scene afterwards. Authorities say that Canedo staged a fake robbery about 5 miles away, claiming that he was shot. Investigators say DNA, evidence from social media and cell phone data led them to Canedo.
Now to a 6-hour standoff on the east side that ended with a surprise hideout. Manuel Sanchez was wanted on 2 warrants. He was found hiding under a trap door and arrested after SWAT used a ton of gas to get inside his home. He is facing charges for being a felon with a gun and theft under $750. And now he could be looking at even more charges.
Happening later today, Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign legislation expanding career and technical educational opportunities for students across Texas. The governor will be joined by state and local leaders in Forney, Texas, which is a town near Dallas. Also joining him, an electrical technology graduate from the Forney Independent School District. The school district has made significant initiatives with the facility that offers career and technical education. In its 2025 State of the State address, Governor Abbott made expanding career training an emergency item for the 89th regular legislative session.
Also happening today in New Braunfels, people will strap on heels and march to support survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. It's called the annual 2025 Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. The Heels On, Hearts Out Crisis Center of Comal County is hosting this event. Participants walk or run in heels and draw attention to the experiences of survivors. Funds raised directly support the Crisis Center's programs like emergency shelters, advocacy, counseling, and education. The event is from 5:30 to 8:30, and you can find more information on the New Braunfels Chamber's website.
All right, 6:07 right now, and here's a look at some of your morning headlines. We're going to start here in Central Florida, where 2 kids in major trouble after causing a major mess and damage at a school. Check out what they did at the media center at that elementary school in Deltona, Florida. Police released this video, which they say shows more than $50,000 worth of damage. A 12-year-old and a 13-year-old broke in on Saturday, then returned the same night to look at the damage and figured out they were just going to cause more. So get this, their own mothers actually turned them in, and the kids ultimately admitted to what they did. Prosecutors are charging them with burglary, theft, criminal mischief, and trespassing. All right, TikTok users, listen up. The Trump administration says an agreement has been reached with China to keep the social media platform running here in the U.S. President Trump will meet with Chinese leaders this Friday to finalize this deal. A bipartisan bill signed by former President Joe Biden banned TikTok in the U.S. unless its China-based owner sold its U.S. assets. However, President Trump put a hold on that ban several times. All right, another crazy story out of Florida. A daring robbery went swimmingly for an Orlando thief this weekend. Check this guy out. He made a splashy entrance, diving into a Disney lake to sneak into a restaurant at the popular Disney Springs. I mean, we're talking scuba gear, goggles, and a full-on wetsuit that this thief was wearing. He went straight for the Paddlefish restaurant where a manager was counting cash late at night. The thief tied up 2 employees and was out within 2 minutes and took up to $20,000. He then swam off into the night, back into the lake, leaving behind a bizarre scene and a very shocked staff. Now, no one was hurt. Disney security is investigating.
All right, live outside, 6:08, 73 degrees. Still pretty quiet here around San Antonio this morning. Promises to be a quiet morning. When do things get a little unsettled, though? We do get a pattern shift, and I think rain comes back into the picture. We'll show you the forecast coming up.
6:09. We got a huge win for an actor with San Antonio ties. The funny role that won him an Emmy, and the A-list stars that he actually beat out for the award.
And a new court at Hemisphere. RJ has been staying on top of this story, and he's standing by with the impact and what this means for the community. Coming up.
Welcome back. Coming up on 6:13 on this Tuesday morning. Well, check this out. We have got a new community court that is open this morning for Spurs fans or anyone interested in playing some hoops just steps away from the old Hemisphere Arena. Check out that beautiful court. The Spurs unveiled the brand new Red McCombs Community Court under the Tower of the Americas. Now, getting this court built was a team effort between the Spurs, the McCombs Foundation, and Hemisphere. Wemby and Keldon Johnson showed up for that unveiling, along with some Spurs greats, the Admiral, Favo, David Robinson, and the Iceman, George Gervin.
And to have this community court name in him and Charlene's name is something special for me. Red was my friend, so to be able to honor him, you know, still, and this court is in the heart of San Antonio. That's where it's supposed to be.
It's a very special place, and there's just a mutual honoring amongst the Spurs and the city of San Antonio. And so I think seeing these representations like this court today just mean a whole lot.
All right, always great to see the Iceman out there. Well, the court, which is open to anyone out there, was inspired by the World's Fair Hemisphere back in 1968 and features the iconic McCombs logo. You see it right there, Fiesta colors, and it's also covered, y'all. So that's good news to protect you from the sun.
Beautiful.
All right, Hispanic Heritage Month is here, and today is a celebration of Mexico's Independence Day.
Yeah, the city of San Antonio has several public events happening today that you can take part in. First up, the Central Library downtown is hosting a fall silent disco with Latin music and dancing. That's from 4:30 until 7:30 p.m.
Plus, we got Collins Garden Library. We'll host a hands-on experience teaching you traditional Mexican tinfoil art techniques. That's from 4 to 6 p.m. and supplies, again, available while they last. But if you're looking for more ways to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, you can scan that QR code on your screen.
A San Antonio native and Texas Lutheran University grad is celebrating a big Emmy win. Jeff Hiller scored Outstanding Supporting Actor in a comedy series for his role in Somebody Somewhere. It's a show about friendship, grief, and finding your way home. He beat out some big names like Harrison Ford and Bowen Yang. TLU fans are cheering him on, calling it a well-deserved win. You can watch the series on HBO Max, and Jeff just dropped a memoir about his journey from San Antonio to Hollywood.
All right, out on the roadways with RJ. RJ, I know you've been busy earlier. You and Alex, things have come calming down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, Jeff, and congratulations to Jeff there, a proud Churchill Charger. So I actually need to check that show out. I've heard some great things. Let's take a look here at 281 North, and as Jeff just mentioned, things are starting to clear out, but still seeing a lot of the backup or the residual effects from that crash that we had earlier up the road over by 281 at Donella and 281 in Thousand Oaks. So earlier it was reported as two separate accidents, but what we're being told is that this was one accident that involved multiple vehicles, 4 vehicles, that unfortunately did involve a death there as well. As we give you kind of a zoomed in look here at 281 and some of the background right here, back up, 281 northbound looks like traffic for the most part moving through, but of course officials still trying to clear out that one particular spot over by Winding Way. Everything else across the city is looking pretty good. I did just notice right now on TxDOT's website that we do have a potential crash over 37 at Pecan Valley for our drivers on the southeast side of town, so we'll get you updated on that in just a little bit. Let's go to Alex, as he has now been back on the roads for a little while, see how things are looking out there. Alex, what can you tell us on this Tuesday?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, right now I just passed Castle Hills on the north side. Just going to be a 410 westbound near Vance Jackson. This side of town looking very good. And when I did leave that area near 281 and Thousand Oaks, I did notice TxDOT Heroes still picking up sombreros. So just keep an eye out for them on the north side, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much. Keeping an eye on the streets, keeping an eye on the air is Justin Horn. How we looking, man?
Keeping an eye on the air. I am, yes, indeed. That's funny. All right, September rainfall. We did okay to start the month. You know, the first weekend of the month, we were receiving good rain, 1.28 inches. But since then, the faucet is turned off, and we have been dry. Of course, today's the 16th, and we still have a couple of weeks here where we can add to our September rainfall total. But you know, September is usually one of our better months, and it has not turned out that way, at least as of late. We are at 25.08 inches for the year, about 2 inches above average. So we're still doing okay, but we run the risk of falling back down below average if things continue as they are. Del Rio is a place I did want to point out, 4.77 for the year. They are over 10 inches below average, which is pretty incredible. If you think about the fact that that's just, a couple of hours away from San Antonio, and you see the difference that just a little bit of geography can make there. But hopefully in Del Rio, we get a little bit of rain this weekend too. There is a chance for that. There's a 20% chance, I'd say, really across here, both Saturday and Sunday. Not the kind of activity that will interrupt your weekend plans, but some isolated stuff. And then by Monday, we raise the rain chances a little bit more. And the reason for that is that we get, I think, just a better setup for perhaps some showers and storms. 72 right now, 69 in New Braunfels, 71 Converse, 63 Boerne, 73 right now at Stinson. Light winds across the board. And here is that long-term forecast. And yes, there are a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot happening. But in the short term, I don't know that we see all that much. It's this weekend where on the northern part of this ridge of high pressure, we get a little disturbance rolling through sometime around Saturday or Sunday. And I think that's why we can add in some small rain chances there. And then by Monday, we get a stronger system that moves through the northern plains. And I think we'll get some energy that will be coming in again from the north and west. And you'll just get sort of an unsettled pattern. And that could mean some isolated activity for us. I don't think it'll be terribly widespread, but at this point, we're looking for anything, right? That will bring some rain back into the picture. Dew points in the upper 60s this morning, so humidity levels are down just a hair, and that's helping with temperatures this morning. And it will still be hot this afternoon, 92, but with that lower humidity, the evening won't be so bad. We've been kind of stuck here with these lower 90s, and I see no reason to change that as far as the temperature forecast goes. 93 Thursday, 93 Friday, low 90s this weekend, and you see the rain chances that we discussed going into next week. And by the way, fall officially starts on Monday at 1:19 p.m., if you were curious. All right. Just asked Justin this morning. Our question has to do with counties. Which state is home to the least populous county in the United States? Or parish, if you're talking about Louisiana, but that's not one of the choices. With a population of 64, your choices are Alaska, Texas, Wyoming, or Nevada. Alaska is winning right now with 46% of the vote. You can go to ksat.com/poll or scan the QR code and weigh in.
6:20 right now, 72 degrees outside.
More to come here, another half hour and more on GMSA, so don't go away.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a mother remembers. For the first time since Malcolm Jamal Warner's tragic death, his mother is opening up to Robin Roberts about the actor and musician who entertained us for decades.
I heard you say when you were first told, you let out a scream.
Yes.
That people from the end of the cul-de-sac came running.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. It was from the bottom of my soul, and what came up and what came out was huge. It was an undescribable pain that resonated throughout my body.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of Robin Roberts' interview with Malcolm Jamal Warner's mother. With your GMA First Look, I'm Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
All right, 6:24 right now. We were inviting you actually to join KSAT and KSAT community for a night of hope and remembrance at the Blood Cancer United's Light the Night in San Antonio. It's happening next month on October the 11th at the Rock at La Cantera, starting at 6 p.m. The family-friendly event honors those affected by blood cancers, celebrates survivors, and shines a light on the importance of research. You can enjoy music, food trucks, and a remembrance ceremony before the walk at 7:30. Participants carry lanterns, white for survivors, red for supporters, and gold for those we've lost, creating a powerful display of unity and hope. The admission is free, and everyone's welcome to register and join us to fight to end blood cancer. You can scan the QR code on the screen right there to donate as well.
All right, we're looking at 6:25 right now, 72 degrees outside.
All right, so the city of Kerrville brought us an update about debris cleanup in the Hill Country, how much progress they've made since the flooding, and what they are trying to preserve. Coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Coming up on 6:30 right now on your Tuesday morning. Again, thanks so much for starting your morning off with us.
Are there any football games on tonight? This is like the first day I feel like there's no football.
Yeah, hey, congrats to the Texans.
Withdrawal.
Oh, no, they lost. Never mind. My bad.
Wow. Too soon.
Lost.
Wow.
Okay.
Coming right out the gate with that.
Yeah.
Hey, are we
Tough
winning?
loss.
We winning on the road today?
You know what, Jeff? It has not been great on the roads. Yeah, so let's get you updated on what's going on here on 281. But all right, things are starting to get a little bit better. Hey, take a look there at 281 at Winding Way. My bad for my Texans fans. They lost a heartbreaker. I do know that. Okay, so let's get you updated right here. 281 at Winding Way. Traffic is starting to move along. Wanted to give you first a citywide view of what is happening. That just popped up on our maps right now. That looks like that's going to be for our folks on 35 headed towards 410. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. But again, we had a major crash earlier this morning. It happened around 2:30 this morning. Northbound 281. It was reported as a deadly crash. So let's go ahead and show you some video that we got from the scene and kind of give you an update exactly what happened there. So this was the crash that happened around 2:30 this morning at 281 North near Thousand Oaks. So we were told that a man in his 30s died after a 4-vehicle crash on the highway. You see some of that right there. Police tell us that a man in a truck crashed into the back of a small pickup truck and pinned the driver of that small pickup truck. Now, no other injuries were reported, and traffic investigators are still continuing to investigate what exactly happened there. And we, of course, are going to have more information on KSAT.com. Let's go to DriveCam right now and check in with Alex Gomez, who is on the roads for us. And he was covering this incident earlier, and see exactly where Alex is at now. Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Here's a new incident that I found in the downtown area. This is going to be right next to the Pearl. It's on 35 northbound, right underneath 281. You can see at least 3 vehicles, I'm counting, right there blocking that right lane. So again, this is going to affect traffic on 35 northbound. I see 35 north backed to about San Pedro right now, RJ.
Okay, so we do anticipate to have a couple more incidents as we get into our 6:30 half hour. Thank you very much, Alex, for that. Let's go to Justin now with the check of things. It felt pretty good last night, Justin, I will say.
It did. That's really been the theme, I think, over the last week and a half or so, where we have these kind of nice mornings, nice evenings, but the afternoons are toasty. And today will be no different. As we look outside right now, just a couple clouds, 72. I suspect we'll fall a degree or two more before it's all said and done. New Braunfels has made its way into the 60s. So too is Bernie, 63 degrees there, 73 right now in Stinson. Light winds, and again, another good morning. But our forecast calls for 85 by noontime, and we're back up to 92 today with partly cloudy skies. There is also a small outside chance for those east of San Antonio that you could see another pop-up shower today like we did yesterday, but the impacts would be minimal. As we get into the weekend, we start to add in some rain chances here in San Antonio, 20%. Not great rain chances, and this is not something that I would say we get our hopes up for good heavy rain or anything like that. But we will have some isolated activity on the radar, I think, by the weekend and by early next week as we get a bit of a pattern shift. We're going to show that to you. Plus, traffic's really starting to heat up here. I think we're going to get a named storm here soon, so we'll talk more about that too coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
All right, sir, thank you very much. The city of Kerrville has hauled away more than 1.1 million cubic yards of flood debris since the Hill Country was hit hard back on the 4th of July.
And on Monday, the city's Economic Improvement Corporation, they gathered to talk about keeping the cleanup rolling. And every day, crews moving between 30,000 and 40,000 yards of debris. That's a lot of trucks with over 300 rolling through the flooded areas nonstop. But it's not just about the clearing of the mess. Arborists and contractors are racing to save thousands of trees along the Guadalupe River, fighting to keep the city from looking like a stripped battlefield. As one official put it, they're determined to avoid turning Kerrville into scraped earth.
A patient is accused of choking and bruising a local nurse, but there is no proof that Northeast Baptist Hospital ever reported this assault to OSHA. San Antonio police say James Roy was hospitalized last year after a patient slammed his head against a glass door. The patient, identified in court records as John Demetrius Hudson, is also accused of putting Roy in a headlock. Roy says doctors diagnosed him with a traumatic brain injury.
I wasn't coherent most of the time. People would say one thing and it would come in one ear and out the other. I would speak gibberish at times.
Roy says he asked to press charges against the patient. For more than a year, he says he did not hear anything. tonight on the Night Beat why the district attorney's office says this took so long.
Man is waking up in the hospital this morning after a car slipped off his jack and pinned him down. It happened just outside Loop 410 near Marbach Road. Firefighters say that he was actually working under the vehicle when it shifted, trapping him for about 5 minutes, but fortunately he was pulled to safety.
Many of us have seen a number of negative comments online after the passing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk last week. And now the Texas Education Agency wants to make sure that public school teachers stay out of the online drama. Agency Commissioner Mike Morath says teachers who cross the line could face disciplinary action, but he has not yet made it clear what behavior counts as unacceptable. That's where Zeph Capo, the president of the Texas American Federation of Teachers, is stepping in. He wants to know why the TEA is focusing in on responses to Kirk's death and says this is really about politics.
The ones that I've seen so far myself have not, in my opinion, risen to that level. I'm not saying that they're not out there, because we certainly do not condone violence against anyone, period.
Morath released a statement saying, in part, quote, "While all educators are held to a high standard of professionalism, there is a difference between comments made in poor taste and those that call for and incite further violence, the latter of which is clearly unacceptable," end quote. He also said that he would be recommending such teachers have their certification suspended, which would make them ineligible to teach in Texas public schools.
And the latest here with the Charlie Kirk murder. Utah authorities set to file charges today against Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old accused of killing that conservative activist Charlie Kirk last week. And we're getting more details of Robinson's plans. Authorities say that Robinson tracked Kirk's schedule and studied the campus layout. FBI found DNA evidence linking him to the crime, including a screwdriver and a towel wrapped around the rifle. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel says that Robinson sent texts also expressing hatred towards Charlie Kirk. Robinson is expected to appear in court virtually later today as this investigation continues. In other news, President Trump sharing a video this morning claiming another U.S. military strike in international waters targeted Venezuelan terrorists smuggling drugs into the U.S. He said that this strike killed 3 people. You're looking at some video of this. This follows a strike 2 weeks ago that killed 11 suspected smugglers. Now, Trump did admit that these strikes could hit fishing boats by mistakes, and there are questions about the first strike's initial targets. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that it does not matter where the boats were headed, they need to be stopped. And another change this morning for Southwest passengers. This one for safety reasons, though. Later this month, Southwest flyers will have to remove the batteries from mobility devices due to fire hazards. Now, air travelers will have to carry them into the cabin before their wheelchair is checked. The airline said that it will not count against a passenger's carry-on bags or luggage. The policy, which starts on September 25th, a few days away, will also restrict the size of lithium-powered batteries on Southwest flights. Now, this comes after the FAA revealed how lithium batteries can potentially start fires on board planes.
Right, it is 6:36, 72 degrees. If you're walking out the door right now, no issues outside. In fact, we've got mostly clear skies and we'll see another quiet day. There are some changes ahead, though, and the tropics are really starting to heat up. We'll take a look at what's going on out there in the Atlantic coming up.
6:37 right now. If student loans are hurting your pockets, we got Consumer Reports coming your way with tips to make sure that you stay on top of it and don't hurt your credit score.
And the world of video game development is crossing over with San Antonio Startup Week. And for the first time just ahead, how developers hope this could help their work become the next big thing.
6:40 right now. The world of video games and gaming development is a massive industry, and the market worth hundreds of billions of dollars and growing.
Yep, now the startup community in San Antonio is looking to foster growth and innovation for developers in San Antonio. And Devin Karp is live right now with a look at what's coming up for San Antonio Startup Week and how developers can have the chance to pitch their work to thousands of people. Devin.
Hey, good morning, guys. I don't know how much y'all are into video games. If it's as much as me, you might not recognize maybe every character from the PlayStation, but one that I bet you remember is Mario right here. But before he was your favorite video game character, he was a nobody character in a nobody game. And now what the San Antonio Startup Week wants to do, partnering with the Greater Gaming Society, is make sure to have the chance to help you find out if you could be having the next great game of the 21st century here in San Antonio. So this is an effort now after some indie development gamers, or what they're called indie devs, had the chance to show off some of their work to business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors at Geekdom. All part of San Antonio Startup Week's new partnership with the Greater Gaming Society, a group of devs and gamers that want to bridge the gap between the isolated community in town, giving them one place to work together, learn from each other, and build the skills it takes to get their games off the ground. Now, I was able to speak with the head of the Greater Gaming Society and a former competitive esports player herself, who says that so many developers live in a bubble, but bringing them together during an event like the Gaming Summit can change the way people see San Antonio as one of the future spots of video game innovation.
I've always thought Startup Week is a time for innovation and creativity, and to me the most creative and innovative thing lately is video games. Like the fact that you can create your own video game from your home PC, or like you can download free programs to do so.
This year, there's the brand new chance that developers are going to be able to have to showcase and pitch their games to thousands of people and some investors looking to see if they can take their work to the next level and get their games released on popular consoles like the Xbox, PlayStation 5, and of course, the Nintendo Switch. In the meantime, though, I think I got to work on some of my gaming skills, but the Gaming Summit is going to be happening over on October 12th. That's Sunday from 9 to 5 over at Geekdom. For more information, you can head to our website, KSAT.com, and see if you have what it takes to make the next game, though I think I might stick with some of the basics for now. I'll send it back to y'all. Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Devin, thank you so much. Okay, so if you're struggling with student loans, you are not alone. Actually, we got more people who are missing payments right now, and the confusion about the overdue dates isn't helping. On top of that, interest on the Save Plan loans is back, which is affecting millions of Americans. Consumer Reports showing us, though, what you can do now before collectors come after your paycheck or tax refund. The numbers are concerning. Nearly 6 million Americans are at least 3 months behind on their federal student loan payments. And that's according to research from TransUnion. And the Federal Student Aid Office warns that many delinquent borrowers are in danger of defaulting in the coming months.
And I mean, I feel like I'm walking on glass with this.
For people like Dorian Rogers, the stress isn't just numbers on paper. It's tens of thousands of dollars in debt that shape everyday choices about housing, transportation, and even long-term goals.
If I miss one payment, then, the interest is going to capitalize on itself and I may not be able to pay it all back. Does that mean that it's going to rupture my credit? Does that mean that I can't do the things that I want to do, not just as an American citizen, but as somebody who just wants to live their life as a 25-year-old?
And those concerns are real. The day you miss a payment, your loan is considered delinquent. After 90 days, it's reported to the credit bureau, hurting your credit score. And if the delinquency continues, it can tip into default, bringing even tougher consequences.
You want to try to do everything possible to keep your loans out of collections, because once they get there, you're in real trouble. Debt collectors can take part of your paycheck, your tax refund, and even your Social Security payments.
If you're facing this tough reality, Consumer Reports says that you need to call your loan servicer, ask about your options, and find out which repayment plan matches your current financial situation. And if you've already slipped into default, the Department of Education says that there are 2 main ways out. One path is loan rehabilitation. What you'll need to do depends on your loan type and who holds it, so reach out to your loan holder. For direct loans or FFEL program loans, you agree to make affordable monthly payments within 10 months. And once you've completed that, your loan is no longer in default. The other option is loan consolidation. It lets you roll one or more defaulted loans into a single new loan, meaning one monthly payment. But keep in mind, you can end up paying more in interest over time.
Whichever path you choose, the key is to not ignore the problem. The sooner you act, the more options you'll have to get back on track.
And regain control of your loans. Jeffney Gray, KSAT 12 News. Okay, so Consumer Reports also warns about the student loan scams that you need to be aware of. For example, watch out for anyone promising that fast debt relief. They may charge big fees or even steal your personal information. All right, let's get on the roadways. RJ, got a lot to think about with that.
All right, that's right, Jeff. So if you are thinking about your student loans, then fortunately, you're not going to be stuck in traffic thinking about that too much. 281 at Overlook Parkway, traffic is looking pretty good on the far north side of town. Same situation right here for our folks out there. Wilderness Oak, good morning to all of our folks out there. It's Stone Oak, Summit Church area, Summit Church Road. We appreciate you guys being with us. Okay, do want to update our folks right here. This is going to be 35 at right before the 281 exit. So basically, we're 37, kind of turns into 281 right before you get to the Pearl. You see the Pearl off to the distance right there, and right that crash being reported on parts of 35. So just keep that one in mind. I believe Alex is there. We'll check in with him in just a little bit. Do want to update our folks about this backup we're seeing due to construction. Basically 35 north headed past Burbank High School, headed towards South Alamo and South Laredo streets. Still have that in place. And one more quick check here at the far west side of town, 1604 Braun Road, starting to see a little bit of backup for all of our drivers going north right there at 1604, headed towards Bandera Road and Helotes. Good morning to all of our folks there. Let's check in with Alex Gomez and see how things are looking on the ground. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, I was at that downtown incident on 35 North at 281, and good news, that crash has actually cleared. They moved off the highway themselves, which is a good reminder, too, if you are in the downtown area, or if you are involved in a minor accident and the cars are drivable and nobody was seriously hurt, you do have to drive off of the highway because it is the law, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Good information there. As always, Alex, as he's cruising through parts of San Antonio, starting to see the sun kind of peek out there. Jay Horn, how we looking?
That sunrise is beautiful. Yeah, we'll see a great start to your day. If you're heading out the door right now to go to the bus stop, word of advice, don't miss the bus. It'll be here soon. So go on and enjoy your day, because there's not a lot to get to weather-wise, other than we'll start off in the 70s this morning. It says morning clouds. Clearly, we are not seeing any, so you can forget about that. But near average this afternoon, 91 is where we end up with mostly sunny skies. Let me show you the futurecast here. And we will see probably some high clouds streaming through during the day. This particular model does want to develop a couple of showers by the afternoon, kind of like yesterday. I think that this model has it moving a little bit too far to the west. I think if we're going to see anything, it's probably going to be our eastern counties, and even then, it's a very, very small chance of rain. Big picture here, as we look at the upper flow, and when I was putting this map together this morning, I was thinking, man, there are a lot of moving parts here. There are. You got several areas of low pressure just kind of meandering around here. For us, it's been high pressure that's been really kind of dominating our forecast. But once we get into the weekend, it gets far enough south to where we could get some disturbances here working over the top of this thing, and that could bring in some small rain chances. And then we start to get a bigger trough that develops across the country. And I think in general, that's going to bring some unsettled weather from Texas all the way up to the Great Lakes by early next week. We still have some time before we get there, but I did raise rain chances a little bit for Monday for that reason. Out in the tropics, we have two systems now the Hurricane Center is flagging, so things are starting to get busy again after a lull. 90% chance of development with this system, and this almost looks like we have a tropical depression there. It looks very healthy. I would bet that by the next update, we'll have something there, if not a named storm. This one, obviously a little less organized, but Hurricane Center is giving us a 20% chance of development. I think the bigger question is, where does this go? And as we've been saying the last couple of days, all indications are that this is going to work off to the north and west and eventually make that turn back out over the Atlantic, which means it would have no impact on the United States. And that's not a bad thing. But I will say we still have a lot of hurricane season to go, so don't let your guard down. There still certainly could be some impactful storms ahead. All right, extended forecast here. We're going 93 tomorrow, 93 Thursday, 93 Friday. In general, it's a quiet work week. I think Thursday night, Friday night football will be very quiet. But by the weekend, you may have to dodge a shower or two. Nothing that would cause you to, cancel your plans, anything like that. But fall beginning Monday with that slightly better chance for rain. Fall begins at 1:19 on Monday, by the way, if you were curious. All right, our Just Ask Justin question this morning asks, which state is home to the least populous county in the United States with a population of 64? Was it Alaska, Texas, Wyoming, or Nevada? Interestingly, they all got votes What do you guys think?
I'm leaning on Alaska. I was leaning on Alaska when it first was up there because I'm like, how many people are actually going to Alaska like that?
And it is a humongous state.
It is.
But for some reason, I feel like it's Texas. There's some remote county or towns or somewhere. We've got a late voting.
We are tied
Wyoming.
now.
I'm going to say the
Texas.
Lone Star State.
Okay.
Texas, Alaska, who is it?
It is. Dun, dun, dun. It is Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Interestingly, out in West Texas, Loving County, it's that little sliver right there, right between far West Texas and New Mexico, has a population of only 64 as of the 2020 census. It's one city, Mentone, which I've driven through. There's not much there.
Okay.
Has a population of 22.
Wow.
That is the county seat.
Look at that. Okay.
Fun fact for you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Justin.
You got it.
6:52 right now, 72 degrees outside.
All right, another look at weather and traffic when we come back here on GMSA. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Good Morning San Antonio as we start to wrap up our 6 o'clock hour. Quick check of some of our TransGuide traffic cameras. 37 at the Alamo Dome. Traffic is moving along there. 37 at Fair Avenue. No major issues, but we are seeing a couple different things pop up, specifically a crash right here. That's going to be 410 at 37, basically near like Southton Road. So keep that in mind. We're already seeing some backups there for our drivers coming up on 37 towards the 410 interchange. So again, keep that one in mind. Want to get you out to this accident. This is going to be over here on Military Drive right next to John Jay High School and Marbach Road. So 410 also seeing some pretty good backups over by Highway 151. And one more quick check at our traffic downtown. 37 at 35 starting to clear out a crash there. All right, GMSA Plus coming up in just a little bit more news, traffic, weather on the way. Stay with us.